Hi everybody, this is John Schwabish from PolicyViz.com coming to you with another data visualization critique, this one of the Week 29 Makeover Monday project. If you haven't seen this collaborative project, I suggest you check it out. The organizers provide you with a visualization and the data to redesign and critique and to make your own. It's a great way to learn and improve your data visualization skills. Now let's take a look at the Week 29 visualization. This one from Information is Beautiful. What do we have here? We have data that's showing the risk of death among people of color in the UK. Now, the most important thing that I want you to take a look at here is all of these risks are relative to a single group. And who are they relative to? They are relative to a white person. The baseline risk is for white people. Why does this visualization, why is the data used in this visualization assuming that white people are the norm, that we should compare all these people of color to white people as if they are the norm? Why can't we just have risk for each of these groups? Why can't we normalize all of the risk of these groups? Or why can't we use another group to normalize to? But let's take a look at which groups we have here. So we have people who identify as Black, Pakistani and Bangladeshi, other ethnicities, Indian, mixed, and Chinese. Now we also, for each of these different groups, we have risk rates for males and females. So it's also important to recognize that it doesn't appear, at least, that the rates for each gender are compared to the baseline for white men or white women. So for example, for Black men, the baseline is white people overall. Again, why is that the default category to which we are comparing? If we want to take a racially equitable view or lens to our visualizations, we need to start asking these questions. And it's work I've done recently with my colleague Alice Fang in our Do No Harm guide that came out just a couple of months ago, and I will link to that in the show notes below. Now let's take another look at this visualization in terms of how it's actually sorted, because I don't know how it's sorted. Let's take a look. Let's get men. So we start at 2.7 here. 2.0, 1.8, 1.8, 1.3, and then 1.4 at the bottom. So it's not sorted by men. What about women? 1.9, 1.6, 1.4, 1.5. So it's not sorted by men or women in the original visualization. Let me show you what some other people have done with this visualization as part of the Makeover Monday project. Now you'll notice here, I have blocked out the names of the people who have created these visualizations. My goal here is not to embarrass or shame these people, but just to show you some of the alternative views. I've also given you a little clip of the order of the groups shown in the original visualization on the left so that we can take a look. Let's compare here. Here we have sort of the same version. We still have men and women for each of these groups. We have sort of a box and whisker plot going across the visualization. Black, Pakistani and Bangladeshi, Indian, other, Chinese, mixed, and now we have white here at the end. So at least this author included the baseline group. Again, why is it the baseline? But also notice here that we appear to at least be sorting these groups based on the value for men as they go down from left to right. Let's look at another visualization. As you can see, there wasn't a lot of variation in this particular week's visualization, but again, these are basically remaking the same visualization and taking into using the same baseline, that white people are the baseline, and not even presenting them here, that white people are the base rate. Let's look at a couple of others. You can see here adding a little bit of annotation on the far right. Again, whites here at the top as the baseline, as the norm. Why is that the case? Now, of course, none of these authors actually have the raw data, so they wouldn't actually be able to recreate a visualization based on the actual risk rates or the risk factors. But that then forces us as visualization creators to think, should I be making this visualization? Should I participate in this particular project? Should I call out the fact that this visualization or this data set is not taking a racially equitable view? As you can see here, another visualization essentially trying to do the similar version in the original. And here again, another dot plot. I want to show you one more here. As in many of these other ones, this visualization sorts the groups by alphabetically. So here we have over in this first bar chart, Bengali, Black, Chinese, Indian, mixed, and other. So it's alphabetical. It's alphabetical along ethnicity. Notice it's male and then female. So why is it not alphabetically sorted among the gender. And of course, we have the stereotypical blue and the stereotypical pink colors that I would argue that should be changed because, again, it's not taking a really equitable view, this time with respect to gender. So I think the message is here, and I'm going to flip all the way back to the original. The message here, and the one thing that I want us as a community and people who are visualizing data to think about is how are we talking about people of different groups and races, genders, ethnicities, and the intersections of those groups? What words are we using and how are we presenting that information? You might want to participate in the Makeover Monday project, but when faced with a visualization like this, perhaps your best course of action is to not participate. Perhaps your best course of action is to call out the fact that this takes a view of the data that forces us to say that whites are the norm or whites are the default and say that this isn't right, that there's a better way and a different way to do this. And I'm not saying that the Makeover Monday organizers or community members should not have provided this data. In fact, I think providing this data and this visualization is an opportunity for the community to say there is a better way and we need to take a better way to present our data when we think about race, ethnicity, gender, and lots of other groups. So I'm going to link to many of the visualizations you've seen here in the show notes below. I'm also going to link to my Do No Harm guide that you can read so you can learn more about how to take a racially equitable view to your data and your data visualizations. So if you want to learn more about how to improve how you visualize your data, subscribe to this channel and read the notes below, and I will see you next time for another data visualization critique.